Welcome to another edition of Fight Watch. My name is Todd Grisham, and I'm with the one, Simon Marcus. Where'd you get that nickname?
The building.
The one.
By being number one over and over and over again.
Did you give yourself that nickname?
Somewhat, but a lot of people call me the one, so it just became a natural progression.
Now, your heritage is Jamaican, and someone pointed out to me that sometimes when you do interviews, you have a Jamaican accent. Today, not so much.
Nah, we're in LA, so if I'm around a lot of Jamaican people, it might just rub off. But,
All right.
you know.
Just no Valley Girl accent today, and we'll be fine.
No, that won't happen.
All right. You're a two-time Glory champion.
Yes, soon to be 3.
We're about to watch the time you won it the second time.
All
Going
right.
into this fight, what was your mentality? Do you remember?
I was very focused. I remember how the first fight went and taking errors and mistakes from then and becoming a better version of myself and extremely focused. They were just ready to take what belonged to me.
And what did you think about Jason Wilnis as a fighter?
I think he's a really good fighter. You know, I fought all the best fighters in the world at my weight class, and Jason ranks up there with the top guys. He came in the first fight focused. He came into this fight, I think, even better than he did the first one. So he's definitely a good competitor.
Now, when I think of your style, I think of unpredictability, and I don't know what he's going to do, and he's so athletic, and he's so over the top, and he's so charismatic. And when I think about Jason, I think of pretty simple fighter. He's just going to be right there the whole time.
Right,
Do you like fighting those type of guys?
To be honest, I like fighting them all. I do like fight. It doesn't matter. Like, I can adjust. Like you said, you can't necessarily predict what I'm going to do. That's because I can do it all. So it just depends on the opponent.
Now, going into this fight, Jason had beaten you for your title at the time.
That's right.
And I was there, and it looked like you just got maybe a little overconfident, a little sloppy. Am I wrong?
You're right to an extent, but really I overplayed on the mind game in the ring as opposed to the physical game. So I was kind of trying to show him he couldn't really hurt me and he wasn't affecting me, and I got a little bit careless. So
going into this fight, was that in the back of your mind, like, don't get careless?
Yeah, I was. Like I said, I was focused. You know, there was no room for error, especially in that department, and I made the adjustments.
All right, let's go back. Copenhagen, Denmark. Fighting in Europe. Besides the terrible food, what else about Europe?
Beautiful women. It was nice. The weather was great. You know, Europe was cool. The people were nice. The women were pretty. And it was nice, man. It was my first time actually fighting in Europe.
There's your corner. Tell us about those guys. There's your cousin.
Right, so we got my cousin there, Roger. He's my cousin. You know, that's my family. He knows me inside out as I know.
He's your hype man too. He's always hyping you up.
Definitely. You know, he knows what it is. He knows my heart, and he keeps me spiritually and mentally in the game. And then I got Howard Wright, my coach. And, you know, once again, we go over game plans, we talk strategy, we talk fights, we talk, you know, about the heart, we talk about the technique. So, you know, I draw a lot from him as well. And then I have, in this fight, I had one of my former students, Marco, which has now become a teacher at my gym. And he was in Serbia at the time and made the trip over, so I asked him to be in my corner.
All right, so here's the other corner. These Dutch guys, I mean, they act like they invented the sport, right? They kind of did, but I mean, there's an air about them, almost like we're the best. You got to come beat us. Do you feel that when you fight a big Dutch fighter?
No, not at all. I think me in specific, I'm a different category. You know, when guys prepare to fight me, they're trying to come beat me because they know they're going against the best in the world. So, you know, I know they were going to bring their A game. I showed up with my A game, and I was ready for whatever.
Now, compared to Jason, you're usually a fast starter. You feel that way? The last fight, you came out and blitzed him.
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, it depends. I like to take the fight into deep water. So, you know, with 3 rounds usually, or even 5 rounds in kickboxing, you can't take a round off. So let's get the party started.
So the strategy in this fight, early on at least, was what?
The strategy was to outbox and outmaneuver Jason, you know, basically do the same thing I did in the first fight, in the second fight I should say, but without getting careless and you know, keeping my guard a little tighter. I had, worked on my boxing, which you could see. He's coming in with big shots, and I'm picking him off as he comes in, using my kicks to keep the distance. And when he gets in close, we're using the knees. So I'm constantly hitting as he's trying to come forward and gain ground. So he's eating a lot of shots.
And these are hard shots. It's not like Cedric Doumbé type shots where you're just hitting to score.
No.
These are landing with some power.
No, I don't play that. We hit hard. That's what we do. If you don't, then a guy won't have a problem taking 2 to give you 1. But if you're lighting him up each time, then it's a different ball game.
This obviously was a rematch. Do you prefer fighting guys multiple times, or you like fresh meat?
Both. I fought a lot of guys more than once, so I'm very used to it. But at the same time, I like new challenges as well. It doesn't matter.
So far in round 1, you look pretty good.
Yeah, picking him off. He's coming in, hitting with the punches, hitting with the left swing, moving, not standing in one spot because Jason likes to get set and kind of unload. So, yeah, the game plan was working perfectly.
Now, I haven't seen this fight since maybe even when I called it, but from what I recall, you started slowing down in the later rounds. Watching it now, do you feel like your output's a little too high?
No, really, it was what was called for at the time, right? I had to keep him on the defense as well as doing my own offense. So it worked out perfect in my opinion, other than getting the knockout.
Good liver shot.
Yep. Left swing, block.
So this round's going about as well as it could.
Yeah, I'm landing at a high percentage, countering most of his hits, staying on the move, floating like a butterfly.
Is Howard yelling at you from the corner?
No.
He's probably drinking, isn't he?
I wish Howard. He's very calm when he's in the corner, and that's what I need. He allows me to be me, and he trusts a lot of what I'm doing. If I'm doing the right things, he doesn't want to steer me off path of that train of thought. So he'll give me pieces or tell me what to watch out for, but he's not trying to control the thing if it's already going in the right direction.
So what's the strategy now after round 1? Everything came out smelling roses there, it seemed like.
Right, so basically keep doing what you're doing, fight your fight. The second time we fought where I lost, I spent a little bit too much energy trying to get him out of there.
Jeez, could they massage you any harder? Holy cow.
I'm a beast, man. They gotta massage that.
Everyone's got a limb.
That's real. So that's Thai style right there for you. The Dutches don't do it as much, but in Thailand we work in the corner. So yeah, man. Basically, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't go for the knockout. Don't get overzealous. Don't get careless. Stay in the moment, and you're winning the fight. So keep doing what you're doing.
All right, round 2, scheduled for 5. In preparation for a 5-round fight, what do you do differently than when you know it's a 3-rounder?
I don't do anything differently, really.
It's not a longer camp. It's not a
No. Yeah, I go into it all the same. I know where my body peaks, so it's still about 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Some fights more than others.
So if you were preparing for a 3-round fight, and right before you walked out the curtain, they said, "Hey, we're changing this to a 5-rounder." You'd be fine with that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm used to 5. As you can see, Jason's countering with the low kicks, but I'm countering the counter with the left swing.
And he's missing on his kicks, you're hitting yours.
That's right.
Strikes landed, 28-16.
Correct. So I'm about hitting him twice as much as he's hitting me at this point. And he's countering, he's kind of a walk-in, take one, and counter fighter. But what I did is make the adjustment where every time he counters, I counter that, and kind of have the final say.
When was the last time you got really nervous before a fight?
Really nervous? I couldn't tell you that. I don't remember.
Nice knee.
Because I saw Wilnis really do a good job at changing levels with his punches.
So when it comes to ring strategy and spacing, he would like to get you in the corner, whereas you'd prefer this fight to be in the middle of the ring?
That's right. He's kind of like a walk-up fighter. He wants to get right in front of you, so the less space you have to move is the better it is for him. But I was kind of moving side to side, using lateral movement, hitting him as he's coming in, hitting him on his way out, so he didn't really get set the way that he probably wanted to.
Do you prefer to be the aggressor, or you like counter-punching?
I like both. It depends on what's the best strategy for that opponent. You know, with Jason, I could be the aggressor, and you'll see that at certain points in this fight where I become the aggressor, but the better strategy is to kind of be the counter guy in this kind of fighter. So as you can see, he's coming forward, but he ends up eating something each time. Into the knee, push kick.
25 body kicks from you at this point.
Mm-hmm. He was feeling it.
It had to be. Does your body, I assume, just kind of get callous to it, where you can take, like, how do you do a little medicine ball where people throw medicine balls at your gut and your liver?
We do that in certain camps. Or we usually do some conditioning, but you know, traditionally when I'm doing my ab workouts, we're hitting the stomach each time we come up. That gets the body conditioned. Sparring gets the body conditioned. Doing drills, taking kicks, get the body, and of course fighting. So you know, you gotta have a strong core to begin with. If you're not, you're gonna get knocked out with body shots.
Now these are Joe's keys to glory. Do you agree with this?
Get on the inside, lower back right away. Counter back right away. Don't let Simon momentum on the outside. Look for some more active. Yep, totally agree. That would be his keys. Stick to Muay Thai roots like we saw at G20. Yep. Keep Wilnis at distance. I don't agree with that. Keep the fight on the outside, looking to use left kick and knees.
Stay off the ropes, yes.
Stay off the ropes, yeah. And
control your emotions. That's the only thing I would have chipped in there.
That was there, actually.
That would have been. I probably told him to put that in there.
That's true.
But it's true, because you're such a great character, and you are so self-confident, but sometimes that can kind of backfire, like we saw maybe in the last fight.
Correct. It's about channeling my emotions. You know, emotions are a good thing in a fight. It's good to be in the moment and not dead and not into what's going on, but you just have to channel it in the right way and not waste energy.
Now, if I recall, is it in Los Angeles where you went and watched him fight as a fan?
Yes.
And you'd been drinking some of Grandma's cough medicine, I believe.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, you were being pretty wild and woolly there.
Hey, that's just me.
Yeah? He did not like that.
Yeah, him more.
He thought you were taunting him and taking away his shine.
It was my belt, so hey, what are they gonna do about it?
Right.
We fought, so
there you go.
He had his chance to get.
Jesus, body kicks 29-0.
Right.
So that's when you know a guy's basically coming at you as a boxer. That's what he's been doing almost his whole fight, right?
Right.
It makes, I would think, it makes your game plan much simpler defensively.
Right. It is, man. And actually, I gave up a lot of low kicks to him in that aspect. That I was just more focused on his hands and being the more deadly weapon. His low kicks weren't hurting me at all. So,
who's the biggest puncher you've been in there with?
It's hard to say. There's a different kind of power. There's different kind of punchers. Pereira had a lot of weight behind his punches, a lot of heaviness, and he puts his body into it. But Jason also has a lot of pop and speed behind his punches. So Schilling also hits hard as well. So there's lots of different guys.
It's a pretty deep division in Glory right now.
Most definitely.
You got Belgarwi, you got Pereira, obviously you, Wilnis.
Right.
Besides yourself, who's the best in that division?
I would have to say at this point Pereira. He's proved himself. He's beat Belgarwi. He's beat whoever he's beat, but he beat me in the last fight. Which was impressive. Wasn't my best performance, but nonetheless, I'd say Pereira's holding it down right now.
And he's getting better because obviously he's known as a boxer.
Yeah.
But he was able to beat you. He was able to stop Belgarwi. A lot of people didn't think he could do that.
Well, that's the thing. when guys train to fight me, sometimes you get a different version of that person, and they in fighting me, they reach a new level. They know what they're coming up against.
Now, Wilnis is having a better round here in round 3. You feel that?
It's better than the last 2, most definitely. He's landing more.
Combinations.
I'm pretty sure his corner told him to start using more kicks because he was getting picked off with the punch. So he's landing a little bit more, but still pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Boy, when he throws
more active.
When he throws those hands, he comes from a long way back too. He sits down and punches.
Yeah, that's right.
There's Howard over the top rope. He still got ups, doesn't he?
Yeah, man. This was a good fight, man. I'm in the corner right now. Round 3 just passed. I know I'm ahead on the scorecard. Wilnis is coming on a bit stronger than he has been. So at this point, mentally, I'm thinking, I got to stay focused and close out. I can't. There's no time here to let go of what I've been doing.
Have you ever been sitting there, like, let's say, as you head into the championship rounds, and things in the back of your head start saying, maybe you could have trained a little harder for this fight, or maybe you could be in just a little bit better condition?
That's if you didn't train as hard, or if you didn't prepare as much. But when you go in 100%, then that's what it is. And most of the time, that's not going to be your thought because you're thinking about how to win and not the past. I'm more in the moment.
But you've done so much offensively. The numbers are skewing heavily in your direction. But you still got 2 rounds to go. So a layman would look and say, well, Wilnis probably has a little more in the tank here.
Right, he definitely does too. Probably does, I should say, because he hasn't done as much. He's kind of walking up. I'm moving around. I'm kicking. I'm punching. I'm kneeing. I've been doing a lot more.
So he's gonna. The next 6 minutes, he's coming.
Well, I was ready. I was ready. Good counter there by me with the right.
Strike zone. You've outlanded him by 20. Feels like more than that, actually.
A big left kick.
His body kicks
kick,
just
blocked the overhand. Pick him off with the punches.
Now I believe you broke Dustin Jacoby's arm with one of those kicks.
Sure did. They don't feel good. So as you can see, he's getting hit with a lot. He'll come forward, land 1 or 2, and then
that was a good body shot by him.
Left swing. So I'm really controlling the pace of this fight, and that's where you can see ring generalship, I'm moving, hitting, he'll come forward, try something, but then I'll kind of counter and get out the way. Hit him again, get out the way. So what's happening is the fight's a little bit more on my terms than his.
As a kickboxer, when fatigue starts to set in, what's the one strike that goes first? Is it the jab? Is it the leg kicks? What's the one thing that you start to maybe not throw as much because you're tired?
Probably, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, I would say I just kind of pick my shots a little bit more. It's not necessarily one thing or another. I'm still going to hit what's open, but you have to pick your shots a little bit more as opposed to just throwing whatever you feel like.
So to you, it takes as much energy to throw a right hand as it does a left kick to the body.
Well, kicks do take more energy than punches, most definitely. And that's where you see so many punches and bunches. But, if I got a kick to win, I'll kick to win. So now the fight's getting intense. We're going back and forth.
And I've seen your hands start to go down a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah, hands are down, head movement. But this is where I back up Wilnis. We basically start swinging at each other.
Ooh, caught you there.
Got me there. Caught him with a knee
Knee,
there.
yeah. This is good stuff.
Knee. So now Wilnis is hurt with the knees. Hit him with the right punch.
Knee
back
again.
To the knee. Back him up on the ropes. I think I was about to knock him out had the ref not jumped in a little bit prematurely, in my opinion. Wilnis comes back with his own flurry, and I come back myself. Ooh, he catches me right after the bell.
Another close round, but watching it with you, I'm not just saying this. To me, it looks like it's at least 3-1, if not 4-0.
Yeah.
Is that how you're feeling?
Yeah, that's how I felt. Actually, in the fight itself, me in the fight, I felt it was much closer than after when I watched it. I was like, whoa, this is a I was way ahead of more than I thought.
But what are Howard and your cousin telling you right now with 1 round to go?
They're telling me stay focused, keep the hands up, you know, stay moving, stay off the ropes. Same game plan, just keep it up and stay sharp. You know, as you could see there,
he missed 6 straight punches.
Yeah. Big knees.
Oh.
You could see there he was paralyzed.
Now, a normal guy in the gym, somebody like me comes in there in the gym and you hit me with one of those knees. What happens to me?
I wouldn't do that.
I'd shut my whole being would shut down, and then Wilnis just walks through it like it's nothing.
Well, you
He's been hit with how many? 100 of them?
You got to give it to him. He's a real determined guy, you know. And he takes, because I'll tell you, I put some hits on him in this fight, and he takes them.
I know.
Without taking a knee or going down. So you could tell he wanted it. You know, it was at the time he had become the champion. He defended it once, and we work our whole lives for this. So I'm sure he trained his best and showed up in the best condition that I've ever seen him in. And then it's back to the game plan, round 5. Hit, move, and try not to be hit.
Now, are you thinking, hey, if I do get in a little bit of trouble here, just survive in advance? Or are you thinking you've got it wrapped up if need be?
You know, in a close fight, like I said, I definitely felt I was ahead, but you can never leave it up to the judges in terms of just giving a round away. So it's the last round. It's a championship fight. I came back for my title. I'm thinking I got to win this round regardless.
Not only does he have Danny DeVries in his corner, he's got Dennis Crowell, the trainer for Rico. He's got all the big guns there.
That's right. That's
and
right.
You got Howard.
Yeah, that's right. And Howard's my secret weapon.
Howard's like 2 men.
Howard's my secret weapon, man. He can analyze and pick apart the game like almost nobody I've seen.
So did he give you any specific instructions? Do you remember in this fight?
Oh, most definitely. Every fight he does, because I'm more show up as my best I can do, and Howard is the guy that will kind of watch video and come up with the game plan. That's not really my strategy, but it's good. It's always good to have someone who can do that. And here, as you can see, hit me with that straight right, and I was tempted to bang it out with him. But I was training with Bull Cow, and I remember specifically him telling me, you know, you get hit, don't worry, keep moving, keep smart. You don't have to like.
You want to answer though, as a man, right? As a man in the streets.
Real bad. You can see it in my eyes.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Now you're starting to get fatigued.
That's
I can
right.
tell.
I was a little bit tired this round. You could tell.
And now he's just kind of pawing with you with the jab and then trying to land the right.
Yeah.
Another body kick. My God, how does he take those body shots?
He got a pretty broad body there. So this is a close round, you know. Wilnis is coming forward, hitting. I'm countering.
Body shot by him, finally. Then you go downstairs.
Yeah.
If someone's able to knock out, ooh, got you there with the left.
Yeah. Countered.
So his corner's probably saying, go for it, finish him if you can.
Oh, most definitely. They must have knew he was behind that scorecard. You can see his ribs are red there too.
Yeah. Well, he is a human.
Boom.
I mean, you hit him with everything.
Here we're going for it. It's close to the last bell, and he's swinging. I'm swinging. He's tired. I'm tired.
That's it.
That's all. That's all she wrote.
Confidence percentage-wise, what percentage do you think you'd won this fight?
I was 100% sure I won, but it was just about the interpretation of judges, right?
But a lot of times you see both guys, like you did here, throw their arms up in the air, and you're like, one of them's got to know he didn't maybe get it.
A lot of times you could see it in the guy's eyes. You know what I mean? The guy's like, yes, I won, but it's more a thing like, if I get the decision, I want to make it seem as if I felt like I won.
Yeah.
But for me, and just being honest, like, if I don't feel like I won, I'm not going to feel content if I get the decision. In this fight, I definitely felt like I won, and I controlled the fight. You know, I hit him more. I landed more. And if you look at the stats afterward, I landed more punches, more kicks, and more knees on a higher percentage.
And when you lost to Pereira, you knew that when it was over?
I
mean, you had an injury, right?
I thought it was a very close one, to be honest. I thought it could be a draw, or even I could have won as the champion, because he dropped me one round. I'd give him another round, but a couple of the rounds, like round 3, he didn't do anything.
Didn't you break your hand or something?
I hurt my foot,
badly.
badly. Yeah, so I had no No foot in that fight,
So here's our final statistics.
which were heavily changed afterward.
So the first 2 rounds, no doubt about it. That
Yeah.
third round was kind of the swing, and then
Right.
he can make the argument that he won the last 2. The last round, it seemed pretty clear he won.
Last round, I'd give him that. First 4, I feel was all me.
Look at the body. 68 shots to the body he took.
Yeah. Wilnis, man, he's a good fighter,
You think you're going to fight him again one day?
Maybe. Why not? if he continues to do what he's been doing, he's been improving over the years as I have, and that's where we met at the top more than once.
All right, here's our decision. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Your sphincter tightened up right there when you heard split decision, didn't you?
I know the work I put in, so.
48-47 Wilnis. 49-46 Wilnis. 49-46
I knew I won it right there.
And our 5th and final judge scores the bout 48-47 for your winner. And new glory middleweight champion of the world.
Oh, you're crying. I love it. You're crying.
Yeah, man. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. The fight itself was a hard fight.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see, Wilnis put on a good performance. It was a close fight, but like I said, it was my night, and I put the work in. I put the work in, So I was really happy with that.
Your cousin loves the spotlight, doesn't he? Well, they should just put the belt on him. Why have they been bothering with you?
He's happy, man, and that's why he's there.
Yeah.
He's got my back. He's at my interest 100%.
Wow.
And he knows how much it means to me and for my family, my kids, and my career.
Of course.
So,
But you don't have that title right now.
no, not yet. I'll get it back.
And then you get to talk to Whitney Miller.
Lucky me.
Lucky you. She should have said, let's step aside and talk to your cousin for a minute. Well, hey, man, thanks for checking out this edition of Fight Watch. That was a lot of fun.
My pleasure.
Can't wait to see you back in the ring again.
Most definitely.
Are you going to cry if you win it again?
I don't know. We're going to have to stay tuned and see,
Just put the sunglasses on next time.
I'm definitely going back for my title, This belongs around this way, so it's just a break.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thanks a
you.
lot.
My
Give me a
pleasure.
little Jamaican for the camera.
Nah,
What's your shout out that you give us every time?
I don't know. Boom bang, this is the one. You don't know.
Boom bang.
I'm Simon the One Marcus, 2-time Glory World Champion. Make sure you subscribe below and like and share.